say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Right, quick, march. Gordon M. Amoth Jr.,
Edomiro Abad,
Marie Rose Abad,
Andrew Anthony Abate,
Vincent Paul Abate,
Lawrence Christopher Abel,
Alana Abraham,
William F. Abrahamson,
Richard Anthony Acito,
Heinrich Bernard Ackerman,
Paul Aquaviva,
Christian Adams,
Donald Leroy Adams,
Patrick Adams,
Shannon Lewis Adams,
Stephen George Adams,
Ignatius Udo Adanga,
Christy A. Adama,
Terrence Edward Adderley Jr.,
Sophia B. Ado,
Lee Adler,
Daniel Thomas Apolito,
Emmanuel Akwasi Afuakwa,
Alok Argawal,
Mukal Kumar Agawala,
Joseph Agnello,
David Scott Agnes,
Joao Alberto de Fonseca Aguiar Jr.,
Brian G. Ahern,
Jeremiah Joseph Ahern,
Joanne Marie Aladiotis,
Shabir Ahmed,
Terrence Andre Aiken,
Godwin O. Ahala,
Trudy M. Alagero,
Andrew Alamino,
Margaret Ann Alario,
Gary M. Albero,
John Leslie Albert,
Peter Craig Alderman,
and my cousin, New York firefighter Steve Belson from Rockaway Beach, Queens. Steve was known as Mr. Ladder 24 at Engine 1 on West 31st Street near Madison Square Garden, right here in Manhattan. He was last heard from on the 44th floor while climbing up the South Tower and will be a hero among so many on that day. I want to say, though, quickly that each one of us who follow us in the readings of the names, as well as each person watching, no matter where you are or the language you speak, has the power to affect the world for good. Never forget the evil terrorist organizations that brought these towers down, killing almost 3,000 innocent lives, including those at the Pentagon and on the 4 hijacked planes. And to all of those out there who still do not know history, please learn about the groups and the nations that continue to support global terror, including all those who still chant death to America. Enough already. Let the good people of the world unite on the side of the good and the righteous. And may God bless the United States of America, land of the free and home of the brave.
And my cousin and godfather, Ryan Daniel Fitzgerald. Every day I wear your initials on my shoulder. I'm reminded of your profound impact on my life. Your memory lives on in our hearts, and your family misses you deeply. The love we have for you will endure across generations. We will never forget you or anyone who tragically lost their lives that day. God bless our military, our first responders, the FDNY, Engine 298, the NYPD, and God bless New York City. But most of all, God bless America.
Jacqueline Delane Aldridge Frederick,
David D. Alger,
Ernest Alicacos,
Edward L. Allegretto,
Eric Allen,
Joseph Ryan Allen,
Richard Dennis Allen,
Richard L. Allen,
Christopher E. Allingham,
Anna S. W. Allison,
Janet Marie Alonso,
Anthony Alvarado,
Antonio Javier Alvarez,
Victoria Alvarez Brito,
Telmo E. Alvier,
Cesar Amaranto Alviar,
Tariq Amunula,
Angelo Amaranto,
James M. Amato,
Joseph Amatuccio,
Paul W. Ambrose,
Christopher Charles Amoroso,
Craig Scott Amundson,
Kazuhiro Anai,
Callisto Anaya Jr.,
Joseph P. Enchundia,
Kermit Charles Anderson,
Yvette Constance Anderson,
John Jack Andriacchio,
Michael Rourke Andrews,
Jean Ann Andrucki,
Sue Nia Ang,
Joseph Angelini Sr.,
Joseph John Angelini Jr.,
David Lawrence Angel,
Mary Lynn Edwards Angel,
Laura Angeletta,
Doreen J. Angrasani,
Lorraine Antigua,
Seima David Aoyama,
and my grandfather, Edward Joseph Papa. Grandpa Eddie, although I never got a chance to meet you, we share many of the same interests. Not only do we share the same name, but I also love to play golf. I also love the Mets and playing baseball just like you did. People always tell me we share the same smile and happy energy. I wish I could have met you, and I hope you're all making you proud.
And my dad, Stephen Francis Schlag. I love him and miss him as ever. All the years combined, they melt into a dream. Life is good, it's 88 and sunny.
Peter Paul Apollo,
Faustino Apostle Jr.,
Frank Thomas Aquilino,
Patrick Michael Araños,
David Gregory Arche,
Michael George Archensky,
Louis Arena,
Barbara Jean Aristide,
Adam P. Arias,
Michael J. Armstrong,
Jack Charles Aaron,
Joshua Todd Aaron,
Richard Avery Arno,
Myra Joy Aronson,
Japhet Jesse Aria,
Carl Francis Asaro,
Michael A. Ajiak,
Michael Edward Asher,
Janice Marie Ashley,
Thomas J. Ashton,
Manuel O. Asidambe,
Greg A. Atlas,
Gerald Thomas Atwood,
James Otterfred,
Louis F. Aversano Jr.,
Ezra Avilias,
Sandy Ayala,
Arlene T. Babakitis,
Eustace R. Bacchus,
John J. Badakliaka,
Jane Ellen Basler,
Robert J. Bearwalter,
Andrew J. Bailey,
Brett T. Bailey,
Garnet Ace Bailey,
Tatiana Bakalinskaya,
Michael S. Baksh,
Sharon M. Balcom,
Michael Andrew Bain,
Catherine Bantis,
and my uncle, firefighter Jimmy Riches. Uncle Jimmy, we talk about you all the time and how you sound so amazing. I wish I could have met you, and I know you were cheering me on at all of my cheerleading competitions and watching over our whole family. We all know when we see a dragonfly, it's your way of saying hello to us. We will always remember you. God bless America.
And with endless love, appreciation, and admiration, my brother, FDNY Captain William O'Keefe.
Gerard Baptiste,
Walter Barron,
Gerard A. Barbara,
Paul Vincent Barbero,
James William Barbella,
Colleen Ann Barco,
Christine Jonna Barbuto,
Victor Daniel Barbosa,
David Michael Barkway,
Firefighter Matthew Barnes,
Melissa Rose Barnes,
Sheila Patricia Barnes,
Evan J. Barron,
Renee Barrett Arjun,
Arthur Thaddeus Berry,
Diane G. Berry,
Maurice Vincent Berry,
Scott D. Bart,
Carlton W. Bartels,
Guy Barbsey,
Ina B. Bassina,
Alyssa Christine Burton Bosmajan,
Kenneth William Besnicki,
Lieutenant Firefighter Stephen Joseph Bates,
Paul James Taglia,
W. David Bauer,
Ivan Luis Carpio Bautista,
Marlene Capito Bautista,
Mark Lawrence Bavis,
Jasper Baxter,
Lorraine G. Bay,
Michelle Beal,
Todd M. Beamer,
Paul Frederick Bettini,
Jane S. Beatty,
Alan Anthony Bevan,
Lawrence Ira Beck,
Minette Marie Beckles,
Carl John Bedigian,
Michael Ernest Beekman,
and my grandfather, Carl W. Tepe. I hear many stories about him every day. Some make me laugh and some make me cry, but every story inspires me. Although I was never fortunate enough to meet my grandfather, he is my hero. I see parts of him in my everyday life, such as the color red, his favorite color, and I see him within my family. He is within my mom, my uncle, and my grandma, within my sister and little cousins, and I know there are parts of him within me, and I know that he is with me and my family in every step that we take.
And my grandfather, firefighter Alan Tarasarich. I would like to take this time to thank everyone who really keeps their word to never forget, so they are not forgotten. All the stories I hear about my grandfather, I've learned that he would do the same if he didn't die that day. The family misses and loves you.
Maria A. Bear,
Max J. Bilkey,
Yelena Bilalovsky,
Nina Patrice Bell,
Debbie S. Bellows,
Stephen Elliott Belson,
Paul M. Benedetti,
Denise Lenore Benedetto,
Brian Craig Bennett,
Eric L. Bennett,
Oliver Bennett,
Margaret L. Benson,
Dominic J. Berardi,
James Patrick Berger,
Stephen Howard Berger,
John P. Bergen,
Alvin Birdsong,
Daniel David Bergstein,
Graham Andrew Berkeley,
Michael J. Berkeley,
Donna M. Bernardt,
David W. Bernard,
William H. Bernstein,
David M. Beret,
David Shelby Berry,
Joseph John Berry,
William Reed Bethke,
Yanene Beatru,
Timothy D. Betterly,
Carolyn Mayer Bug,
Edward Frank Baye,
Paul Michael Bear,
Anil Pahalram Belvrani,
Bella J. Buchan,
Shimmy D. Bigliason,
Peter Alexander Bielfeld,
William G. Bigart,
Brian Eugene Belcher,
Mark Bingham,
Carl Vincent Beanie,
and my brother Joseph Michael Giacconi. 23 years is like 23 seconds. On September 11th, my brother disappeared. But this place has become my altar. And this ceremony is essential. Because that day he disappeared, but if I come here and I speak his name out loud and you hear his name, he will never, never disappear. We love you and thank you.
and my great. And my grandfather, FDNY Captain James J. Corrigan. We love you so much and we miss you so much. Me and my three sisters wish we got to meet you.
Gary Eugene Bird,
Joshua David Birnbaum,
George John Bishop,
Chris Romeo Bishundat,
Jeffrey Donald Bittner,
Albert Belayla Blackman Jr.,
Christopher Joseph Blackwell,
Carrie Rosetta Blackburn,
Susan Leigh Blair,
Harry Blanding Jr.,
Janice Lee Blaney,
Craig Michael Blass,
Rita Blau,
Richard Middleton Blood Jr.,
Michael Andrew Bacardi,
John Paul Bocci,
Michael L. Bocchino,
Susan M. Bocchino,
Dira Francis Bodley,
Bruce Douglas Bone,
Mary Catherine Murphy Bofa,
Nicholas Andrew Bogdan,
Darren Christopher Bohan,
Lawrence Francis Bousseau,
Vincent M. Bolin Jr.,
Turi Hamzavi Belorchi,
Alan Bondarenko,
Andre Bonaire Jr.,
Colin Arthur Bonnet,
Frank J. Bonomo,
Yvonne Lucia Bonamo,
Susan Booker Sr.,
Kelly Ann Booms,
Campbell D. Boone,
Mary Jane Booth,
Sherry Ann Boudreau,
Christine Bordanabe,
Jerry J. Borg,
Martin Michael Borashevsky,
Richard Edward Bosco,
and my uncle Kenneth Joseph Marino, who was a firefighter with FDNY Rescue 1 in Manhattan. He was one of the first responders on that day. I'm 12 years old, so I never met my uncle Kenny, but I feel like I know him from my parents, grandparents, and family members. One thing I learned is that my Uncle Kenny and I share a love of baseball. Our favorite player is Ken Griffey Jr., and I'm very happy and proud that we have the same interests. But most important is that my Uncle Kenny was a true hero. He saved many lives on that day. Our family misses him every day, and we will never forget his memory or his bravery.
my cousin Matthew Carmen Solito. Matthew, neither you nor the thousands who perished on 9/11 will ever be forgotten. What is being forgotten is the 9/11 experienced by every other American. I ask you today to speak to your children and your grandchildren who weren't born on 9/11. Tell them what you went through, tell them to never forget what your family went through on 9/11.
Klaus Botha,
Carol Marie Bouchard,
J. Howard Bolton,
Francisco Eligio Bourdier,
Thomas Harold Bowden Jr.,
Donna M. Bowen,
Kimberly S. Bowers,
Veronique Nicole Bowers,
Larry Bowman,
Sean Edward Bauman Jr.,
Kevin L. Bowser,
Gary R. Box,
Gennady Boyarsky,
Pamela Boyce,
Alan P. Boyle,
Michael Boyle,
Alfred J. Braca,
Sandra Konate Brace,
Kevin Hugh Bracken,
Sandy Waugh Bradshaw,
David Brian Brady,
Alexander Berginski,
Nicholas W. Brandmarty,
Daniel Raymond Brandhorst,
David Reed Gamboa Brandhorst,
Michelle Renee Bratton,
Patrice Brout,
Lydia Estelle Bravo,
Donald Michael Brightweiser,
Edward A. Brennan III,
Frank H. Brennan,
Michael E. Brennan,
Peter Brennan,
Thomas Moore Brennan,
Daniel J. Brethel,
Gary Lee Bright,
Jonathan Eric Briley,
Mark A. Risman,
Paul Gary Bristow.
Marion R. Britton.
And my father, William Ralph Robb. Dad, we only got 6 years together, but I have nothing but the happiest memories. And every day I remember how lucky and how proud I am to be your daughter. Me, Mom, and Liam love and miss you so much.
And my mother, Imelda H. Perry. My mother was a beacon of kindness, wisdom, elegance, and grace. Her love was unconditional. Her spirit was indomitable. Along with my brother and my sister, we cherish the memories that you taught us. And even though you are not here with us, your memories will continue to live in our hearts and guide our actions. Thank you.
Mark Francis Broderick.
Herman Charles Brockhammer.
Keith A. Broomfield.
Bernard C. Brown II.
Janice J. Louis Brown.
Lloyd Stanford Brown.
Patrick John Brown.
Bettina B. Brown Radburn.
Mark Bruce.
Richard George Bruhert.
Andrew Brunn.
Vincent Edward Brunton.
Ronald Buca.
Brandon J. Buchanan.
Greg J. Buck.
Dennis Buckley.
John Edward Boluga Jr.
Patrick Joseph Booth.
Christopher L. Burford.
Stephen Bruce Bunin.
Thomas Daniel Burke.
Matthew J. Burke.
Charles F. Burlingame III.
William Francis Burke, Jr.
Donald J. Burns.
Thomas E. Burnett, Jr.
Keith James Burns.
Kathleen Ann Burns.
Irina Buslow.
John Patrick Burnside.
Thomas M. Butler.
Milton G. Bustillo.
Timothy G. Byrne.
Patrick Dennis Byrne.
Jesus Neptali Cabezas.
Daniel M. Caballero.
Brian Joseph Cachia.
Lillian Casieres.
And my brother, Robert Talhami. Your family and I love you and miss you so much. For the love you had for good food and wine, your good friend, Peter Donovan, and I have not missed a dinner in your honor for the last 23 years. Robert, my little brother, I know we will meet again. Until then, I love you and think of you every day.
And my uncle, James Brian Riley. We love you and miss you so much, Uncle Jimmy. Even though I've never met you, I've heard so many stories about you to the point where it feels like I've known you for my whole life. You're a role model to me, and your kindness inspires me and the rest of our family to be the best people that we can be.
Richard Michael Caggiano.
Cecile Morella Kaluka.
John Brett Cahill.
Michael John Cahill.
Scott Walter Cahill.
Thomas Joseph Cahill.
George C. Kane.
Salvatore B. Cabral.
Joseph M. Calandrello.
Philip V. Cagaliano.
Edward Calderon.
Jose O. Calderon Omeda.
Kenneth Marcus Caldwell.
Dominic E. Cali.
Felix Bobby Calixte.
Francis Joseph Callahan.
Liam Callahan.
Suzanne M. Cali.
Gino Luigi Calvi.
Rocco Kamaj.
Michael F. Camarata,
David O.T. Campbell,
Jeffrey Thomas Campbell,
Robert Arthur Campbell,
Sandra Patricio Campbell,
Sean Thomas Canavan,
John A. Candela,
Vincent A. Canalanzos,
Stephen J. Cangelosi,
Lisa Bella Canava,
Brian Canizaro,
Michael R. Canty,
Luis Anthony Caparisi,
Jonathan Neff Capello,
James Christopher Carpes,
Richard Michael Caproni,
Jose Manuel Cardona,
Dennis M. Carey Sr.,
Edward Calino,
Michael Scott Carlo,
and my brother Emmanuel Akwesi Afuaka. You are a hero. May your soul and all departed souls keep resting in peace. And it's my prayer that this wicked act called terrorism will never occur again in the United States. God bless America.
and my father, Lieutenant Kenneth John Felix Sr. Dad, we miss you, including your wife Patty, your children, Aaron, Danny, Kenny, and your grandchildren, Kendall, Kyle, and Callie Mae. I just want to be honored to be here and to wear your badge number as a police officer, and my brother as well, wearing your badge number as a fire department. God bless all the 9/11 families. Thank you.
David G. Carlone,
Rosemary C. Carlson,
Mark Stephen Carney,
Joyce Ann Carpenetto,
Jeremy Kaz Carrington,
Michael T. Carroll,
Peter J. Carroll,
James Joseph Carson Jr.,
Christopher Mikhail Karstinogen,
Angeline C. Carter,
James Marcel Cartier,
Sharon Ann Carver,
Vivian Casaldic,
John Francis Casaza,
Paul Reagan Cassio,
Neely Ann Heffernan Casey,
William Joseph Cashman,
Thomas Anthony Casoria,
William Otto Casper,
Alejandro Castaño,
Arcelio Castillo,
Leonard M. Castriano,
Jose Ramon Castro,
William E. Coswell,
Richard G. Catarelli,
Christopher Sean Caton,
Robert John Caulfield,
Mary Teresa Caulfield,
Judson Cavalier,
Michael Joseph Cawley,
Jason David Kane,
Juan Armando Ceballos,
Marcia G. Cecil Carter,
Jason Michael Cephalou,
Thomas Joseph Cecil,
Anna Mercedes Centeno,
Joni Sesta,
John J. Chada,
Jeffrey Mark Chernoff,
Swarna Chalasani,
and my cousin Gary M. Albero. Even though it's been 23 years, we hold your memory strong. Your love of family, meatballs, and of course the Yankees. We miss you every day and hope you're having a blast up there with Dad and Grandma and the rest of the family. And of course, God bless America.
and my sister Catherine McGarry Nowak. We miss you a lot.
William A. Chalkoff,
Eli Chalua,
Charles Lawrence Chan,
Mandy Chang,
Rosa Maria Chapa,
Mark Lawrence Charette,
David M. Charlebois,
Gregorio Manuel Chavez,
Pedro Francisco Checo,
Douglas Macmillan Cherry,
Stephen Patrick Cherry,
Vernon Paul Cherry,
Nestor Julio Chevalier,
Swede Joseph Chevalier,
Alexander H. Chiang,
Dorothy J. Chicharo,
Luis Alfonso Chimbo,
Robert Chin,
Eddie Wing Wei Ching,
Nicholas Paul Chofalo,
John G. Chipora,
Peter A. Chicharillo,
Catherine Ellis Cheers,
Kyung Hee Casey Cho,
Abul K. Chowdhury,
Mohammed Salahuddin Chowdhury,
Kirsten Lael Christoph,
Pamela Chu,
Stephen Paul Chuknik,
Wei Ching Chung,
Christopher Chiafardini,
Alex F. Ciccone,
Francis Ann Salente,
Elaine Silo,
Edna Cintrone,
Nestor Andre Cintron III,
Robert D. Siri Sr.,
Juan Pablo Cisneros,
Benjamin Keith Clark,
Eugene Clark,
and my father, FDNY Battalion Chief Oreo Joseph Palmer. A month from today, I'm getting married, and I'll be saving a seat for you and for Mom. Dana, Keith, and I are so proud to be your children.
and my uncle, Salvatore F. Pepe. Sal, the entire family misses you. I hope you see how well your son, little Sal, has turned out. Kathy has done an amazing job. We miss you. We'd love to have you around. We know and that you're looking out for us. So thank you for being our guardian angel.
Gregory Allen Clark,
Manny Leroy Clark,
Sarah M. Clark,
Thomas R. Clark,
Christopher Robert Clark,
Donna Marie Clark,
Michael J. Clark,
Saria Rachel Emma Clark,
Kevin Francis Cleary,
James D. Clear,
Jeffrey W. Cloud,
Susan Marie Klein,
Stephen Coakley,
Jeffrey Allen Cole,
Patricia A. Cody,
Daniel Michael Coffey,
Jason Matthew Coffey,
Florence G. Cohen,
Kevin S. Cohen,
Anthony Joseph Coladonato,
Mark Joseph Caleo,
Stephen J. Caleo,
Christopher Michael Colasanti,
Kevin Nathaniel Colbert,
Michelle P. Colbert,
Keith E. Coleman,
Scott Thomas Coleman,
Terrell Coleman,
Liam Joseph Cahoon,
Robert D. Colon,
Robert J. Call,
Jean Marie Collin,
John Michael Collins,
Michael L. Collins,
Thomas Joseph Collins,
Joseph Kent Collison,
Jeffrey Dwayne Coleman,
Patricia Malaya Kolodner,
Linda M. Cologne,
Saul E. Cologne,
and my friend Susan Ruggiero, and also my brother, firefighter Michael Francis Lynch. I look forward to that day when we can all be together again. And I ask everybody out there watching this to pray for unity and to pray for peace. Thank you.
My brother, Robert T. Bobby Hughes Jr., and our family friend, Judy Hazel Fernandez. Bobby, your beautiful and infectious smile and soul is missed and loved so much every day. You have no idea the major impact you and your life has had and left on all of our hearts. We can't believe you're gone 23 years. The sadness and emptiness we all feel missing you is indescribable. Thank you for watching over all of us after all these years.
You're loved and missed so much, and you are forever our hero and angel. We love you so much, Bobby.
Ronald Edward Comer,
Jaime Concepcion,
Albert Conde,
Denise Conley,
Susan P. Conlon,
Margaret Mary Connor,
Cynthia Marie Lease Connolly,
John E. Connolly Jr.,
James Lee Connor,
Jonathan M. Connors,
Kevin Patrick Connors,
Kevin F. Conroy,
Brenda E. Conway,
Dennis Michael Cook,
Helen D. Cook,
Jeffrey W. Coombs,
John A. Cooper,
Julian T. Cooper,
Joseph John Capo Jr.,
Gerard Coppola,
Joseph Albert Corbett,
John J. Corcoran III,
Alejandro Cordero,
Robert Joseph Cordes,
Ruben D. Correa,
Danny A. Correa Gutierrez,
Georgine Rose Corrigan,
James J. Corrigan,
Carlos Cortez Rodriguez,
Kevin Michael Cosgrove,
Dolores Marie Costa,
Digna Alexandra Costanza,
Charles Gregory Costello Jr.,
Michael S. Costello,
Asia S. Cottom,
Conroy Kofi Katoy Sr.,
Modern John Coughlin,
John J. G. Coughlin,
Timothy J. Coughlin,
James E. Cove,
and my uncle, Ol D. Wangachuk, who I've missed by 10 days, and who was taken from all of us. We all miss you, we all love you. Thank you, and God bless America.
and my aunt, Danielle Castulas. Although never fortunate enough to have met you, your memory still continues to live on from the stories of your selfless heart, your smile, and your tenacity for everything you set your mind to. The stories of your life inspire me every day. You inspired me to run my first marathon and to never give up on my dreams on attending the United States Coast Guard Academy to one day serve my country. You are my why. You are loved and you are missed, and you will never be forgotten.
Andre Colin Cox,
Frederick John Cox,
James Raymond Coyle,
Michelle Coyen Ewan,
Christopher Seaton Kramer,
Eric A. Cranford,
Denise Elizabeth Krant,
James Leslie Crawford Jr.,
Robert James Crawford,
Tara Kathleen Kramer,
Joanne Mary Cregan,
Lucia Crisfasa,
John A. Creasy,
Daniel Hall Chrisma,
Dennis A. Cross,
Kevin R. Crotty,
Thomas G. Crotty,
John R. Cray,
Wellis Remy Crother,
Robert L. Cruikshank,
John Robert Cruz,
Grace Agro Kulo,
Kenneth John Cubas,
Francisco Cruz Cabero,
Thelma Cuccinello,
Richard Joseph Cudillo,
Neil James Cudmore,
Thomas Patrick Collins III,
Joan Cullinan,
Joyce Rose Cummings,
Brian Thomas Cummins,
Michael Joseph Cunningham,
Robert Curatolo,
Lawrence Demain Kulo,
Paul Dario Curioli,
Patrick Joseph Curvin,
Beverly L. Curry,
Andrew Peter Charles Curry Green,
Michael Sean Curtin,
Patricia Cusher,
and my uncle, firefighter Edward James White III. Even though I never got to meet you, Uncle Teddy, from all the great stories I hear, I feel like I know you. We all love and miss you. You will forever be our hero.
And my grandfather, Michael D. Deal. Everyone who knew him lost a real friend, and for all of us in our family, he has left a place that can never be filled. We love you, Papa.
Gavin Cushney.
Caleb Aaron Dack.
Carlos S. DaCosta.
Jason M. Dahl.
Brian Paul Dale.
NYPD Police Officer John DeLara.
Vincent Gerard Demadeo.
Thomas A. Damaskinos.
Jack L. D'Ambrosi Jr.
Janine Damiani Jones.
Manuel Joao Demota.
Patrick W. Danahy.
Mary D'Antonio.
Petty Officer 2nd Class Vincent G. Dans.
Dwight Donald Darcy.
Elizabeth Ann Darling.
Annette Andrea Dotteran.
Lieutenant Edward A. Diatri.
Firefighter Michael D. Dioria.
Lawrence Davidson.
Michael Allen Davidson.
Firefighter Scott Matthew Davidson.
Titus Davidson.
Nierka Davila.
Ada M. Davis.
Port Authority Police Officer Clinton Davis Sr.
Wayne Terriel Davis.
Anthony Richard Dawson.
Calvin Dawson.
Firefighter Edward James Day.
William Thomas Dean.
Firefighter Robert J. DeAngelis Jr.
Battalion Chief Thomas Patrick DeAngelis.
Dorothy Alma de Araujo.
Ana Gloria Pocasangre de Barrera.
Tara E. DeBeck.
James D. Debonair.
Anna M. Devin.
James V. de Blasi Jr.
Gisaril Malabuyak de Chavez. Uncle Firefighter Joseph Patrick Henry. Uncle Joey, although we never met you, you will always be remembered. We see your sense of humor and big heart in all our family members.
You should be here laughing with us at our family gatherings in Breezy Point or winning big at Left Right Center on Christmas Day, but we know you are watching over us with Papa and Aunt Mary.
We promise to continue telling your stories and will never let anyone forget all those lost on September 11.
Paul DeColo.
Gerald F. DeCanto.
Simon Marash Dedvukash.
Jason Christopher DeFazio.
David A. DeFeo.
Jennifer De Jesus.
Monique Effie De Jesus.
Nareda De Jesus.
Emmy De La Pena.
Donald Arthur De La Pena.
Azucena Maria De La Torre.
Vito Joseph Delio.
Danielle Ann Deli.
Andrea Della Bella.
Joseph A. Della Pietra.
Palmina Delegati.
Colleen Ann DeLowery.
Joseph DeLuca.
Manuel Del Valle Jr.
Francis Albert De Martini.
Anthony DeMoss.
Martin N. DeMeo.
Francis Deming.
Carol Keys Demitz.
Kevin Dennis.
Thomas Francis Dennis Sr.
Jean C. De Palma.
Jose Nicholas De Pena.
Robert John Duraney.
Michael DeRienzo.
David Paul DeRubio.
Jamal Laguesse DeSantis.
Christian Louis DeSimone.
Edward DeSimone III.
Andrew J. Desperito.
Michael Jude D'Esposito.
Cindy Ann Duell.
Melanie Louise DeVere.
Jerry DeVito.
Robert P. Devitt Jr.
And my uncle, Matthew J. Burke. It is with great pride that I carry on your name. You are loved and missed dearly. Even though you're not here with us, you are forever in our hearts. God bless my Uncle Matt, and God bless America.
and my uncle, Thomas Joseph Collins. Uncle Tommy, you were the life of the party and had an infectious smile that could light up any room. We know you're up there with Grandma and Grandpa watching over all of us. We love you, we miss you, and you were never forgotten.
Dennis Lawrence Devlin,
Gerard P. Dewan,
Suleimani Kasamali Danani,
Michael Louis D'Agostino,
Matthew Diaz,
Nancy Diaz,
Obdulio Ruiz Diaz,
Michael A. Diaz Piedra III,
Judith Berquist Diaz Sierra,
Patricia Florence D. Chiaro,
Rodney Dickens,
Jerry D. Dickerson,
Joseph Dermot Dickey Jr.,
Lawrence Patrick Dickinson,
Michael D. Deal,
John DeFato,
Vincent Francis DeFazio,
Carl Anthony DeFranco,
Donald Joseph DeFranco,
John D. Giovanni,
Eddie A. Dillard,
Deborah Ann DiMartino,
David DeMiglio,
Stephen Patrick Domino,
William John Dimling,
Marissa DiNardo Shorp,
Christopher Moore Dinka,
Jeffrey Mark Dingle,
Rena Sam Deneau,
Anthony Dionisio,
George DiPasquale,
Joseph Di Pilato,
Douglas Franks Di Stefano,
Donald Americo DiTullio,
Ramsey A. Dewani,
Johnny Doctor Jr.,
John Joseph Doherty,
Melissa Candida Doy,
Brendan Dolan,
Robert E. Dolan Jr.,
and my uncle Cesaro Malabuyok de Chavez. Tito, you're the man who I am honored to get my name from. Wherever you are, I hope you're doing well and watching down on us. Although I've never got the chance to meet you in person, it's clear you've made a significant impact on those around you. Nanay, Ninang, Lolo, and Lola all speak very highly of you and your accomplishments. The amount of respect they all have for you is evident. It's unfortunate you're not able to tell me these stories and accomplishments yourself. However, your siblings and parents will always make sure to share your stories for you. Through us, your family, will make sure you are never forgotten and your legacy will live on. Tito, wherever you are, I hope you finally found peace. Mahal na mahal kita.
And my uncle, firefighter Frankie Esposito, and cousin, Captain Michael Esposito. As I get older, it gets harder to see the sadness amongst my family with you gone, but our grief is just our love with nowhere to go. We're proud of you, we love you, and we'll never stop walking down memory lane to run into you. I'll continue to share your legacies with the younger generations as to never forget. God bless the lives lost this day, and God bless America.
Neil Matthew Dollard,
James DeMonico,
Benilda Pasqua Domingo,
Alberto Dominguez,
Carlos Dominguez,
Jerome Mark Patrick Dominguez,
Kevin W. Donnelly,
Jacqueline Donovan,
William H. Donovan,
Stephen Scott Dorff,
Thomas Dowd,
Kevin Christopher Dowdell,
Mary Yolanda Dowling,
Raymond Matthew Downey Sr.,
Frank Joseph Doyle,
Joseph Michael Doyle,
Randall L. Drake,
Patrick Joseph Driscoll,
Stephen Patrick Driscoll,
Charles A. Droz III,
Myrna A. Duarte,
Luke A. Dudek,
Christopher Michael Duffy,
Gerard J. Duffy,
Michael Joseph Duffy,
Thomas W. Duffy,
Antoinette Duger,
Jackie Sayeg Duggan,
Sariv Ducat,
Patrick Dunn,
Felicia Gale Dunn-Jones,
Christopher Joseph Dunn,
Richard Anthony Dunstan,
Patrick Thomas Dwyer,
Joseph Anthony Ikabachi,
John Bruce Eagleson,
Edward T. Earhart,
Robert Douglas Eaton,
Dean Philip Eberling,
Margaret Ruth Echterman,
and my younger brother, Robert Thomas Linane. Bob, as you are known to most of your vast circle of family and friends, you are missed and remembered. Your spirit lives on through your nieces and nephew. Keep an eye out for all of us down here. Thank you to everyone involved with this ceremony. Thank you to everyone tuning in at home. It's up to us to ensure everyone is remembered and to avoid this ever happening again.
and my cousin, Michelle Marie Reed. Michelle had a remarkable zest for life, always greeting each day with a smile that could light up any room. Her fearlessness in taking risks and embracing new challenges in life was truly inspiring. Not only was Michelle a hard worker, she was a dedicated individual who always placed family above all else, balancing her weekdays at Aeon on the 100th floor of the South Tower with weekends spent at her family's farm in upstate New York. She loved working on the farm and was known for blazing through trails on her four-wheeler with enthusiasm, always taking time to admire the forget-me-not flowers by the stream. Her unwavering commitment to her loved ones, never missing a family gathering or celebration, and her infectious smile will be cherished in our hearts forever. Michelle had a deep passion for photography, capturing the world's beauty and treasured moments through her lens. Her photographs continue to remind us of her unique perspective and the special times we shared. Michelle's family and friends think of her every day, each of us finding our own way to honor her legacy and celebrate the extraordinary life she lived. We love you always.
Paul Robert Eckner,
Constantine Economos,
Barbara G. Edwards,
Dennis Michael Edwards,
Michael Hardy Edwards,
Christine Egan,
Lisa Erin Egan,
Martin J. Egan Jr.,
Michael Egan,
Samantha Martin Egan,
Carol Eggert,
Lisa Karen Ehrlich,
John Ernst Eichler,
Eric Adam Eisenberg,
Daphne Frolinda Elder,
Michael J. Alferis,
Mark Joseph Ellis,
Valerie Silver Ellis,
Albert Alfie William Elmare,
Robert R. Elseth,
Edgar Hendricks Emery Jr.,
Doris Suk Yuen Eng,
Christopher Epps,
Ulf Ram Erickson,
Erwin L. Erker,
William John Irwin,
Sarah Ali Escarcega,
Jose Espinal,
Fanny Espinoza,
Billy Scoop Esposito,
Bridget Ann Esposito,
Francis Esposito,
Michael A. Esposito,
Ruben Esquilin Jr.,
Sadie Etty,
Barbara G. Etzold,
Eric Brian Evans,
Robert Edward Evans,
Meredith Emily June Ewart,
Catherine K. Fagan,
and my son Paul Robert Eckner. Once again, we are reading the names of the innocent victims who lost their lives on this very, very sad day in America. And our son Paul You are our shining star and forever in our broken hearts.
And my grandfather, firefighter Robert James Crawford. As the years pass, I can't help but think of everything you should be here for. But in hindsight, I know you've been with us all along, giving us the strength to go on. Just know in everything we do it for you. We will never forget. God bless America.
Patricia Mary Fagan.
Ivan Krylos Fairbos Barbosa.
Keith George Fairbin.
Sandra Frajado Smith.
Charles S. Falkenberg.
Dana Falkenberg.
Zoe Falkenberg.
Jamie L. Fallon.
William F. Fallon.
William Lawrence Fallon Jr.
Anthony J. Fallone Jr.
Doris Bridget Finelli.
Robert John Fangman.
FDNY John Joseph Fanning.
Kathleen Ann Farragher.
Thomas James Farino.
Nancy C. Dolazicki Farley.
Paige Marie Farley Hackle.
Elizabeth Ann Farmer.
Douglas John Farnham.
John Gerard Farrell.
John W. Farrell.
Terrence Patrick Farrell.
Joseph D. Farrelly.
Thomas Patrick Farrelly.
Syed Abdul Faf.
Christopher Edward Fawnin.
Wendy R. Faulkner.
Shannon Marie Fava.
Bernard D. Fazuza.
Robert Fazio Jr.
Ronald Carl Fazio Sr.
William M. Feehan.
Francis Jude Feely.
Garth Aaron Feeney.
Sean Bernard Fegan.
Lee S. Felling.
Peter Adam Feidelberg.
Alan D. Feinberg.
Rosa Marie Feliciano.
And my brother, T.J. Hargrave, who, like all of your loved ones, was taken from us way too soon.
And my husband, FDNY Chief Gerard A. Barbara. My husband, Jerry, was a Navy veteran and a member of the FDNY for 31 years. On September 11, 2001, 2,977 innocent people were murdered by radical Islamic terrorists. My husband of 30 years was one of them. It is outrageous that our government would ever entertain the thought of granting the terrorists a plea deal. If not for the outcry of the 9/11 community, who knows what might have transpired. It has been 23 years, and the families deserve justice and accountability. The elected officials here today show their respect and reverence to the families on September 11th. Or, in our president's words, do 9/11. Quite a flippant remark. But please remember that the September 11th families live it every day, not just on the anniversary. In conclusion, may God bless those battling September 11th illnesses, our first responders, and the military here and abroad. May God bless America and never forget.
Edward P. Felt. Edward Thomas Fergus Jr.
George J. Ferguson III.
J. Joseph Ferguson.
Henry Fernandez.
Judy Hazel Centillion Fernandez.
Julio Fernandez.
Elisa Giselle Farina.
Anne Marie Celerin Ferreira.
Robert John Ferris.
David Francis Ferrugio.
Louis V. Fersini Jr.
Michael David Ferrugio.
Bradley James Fetchit.
Jennifer Louise Fialco.
Kristen Nicole Fido.
Amelia V.
Fields.
Samuel Fields.
Alexander Milan Filipov.
Michael Bradley Finnegan.
Timothy J. Finnerty.
Michael C. Fiore.
Stephen J. Fiorelli.
Paul M. Fiore.
John B. Fiorito.
John R. Fisher.
Andrew Fisher.
Bennett Lawson Fisher.
Gerald P. Fisher.
John Roger Fisher.
Thomas J. Fisher.
Lucy A. Fishman.
Ryan D. Fitzgerald.
Thomas James Fitzpatrick.
Richard P. Fitzsimmons.
Salvatore Fiumefreddo.
Darlene E. Flagg.
Wilson F. Flagg.
Christina Donovan Flannery.
Eileen Fletcher.
And my uncle John Gerard Monahan. We all love you so much. We all miss you. You're my hero. God bless America.
And my uncle, firefighter Christopher Michael Mazzillo. Uncle Chris, though we've never met, I miss you more than words can explain. Everybody's always saying how much they miss you and wish you were still here. When I was younger, I was told that you were super brave, but standing up here today made me realize how much of a hero you actually are. I know that you're always right there beside us, keeping us strong whenever we need you. All of us notice the signs you send us, big and small, and they give us more reason to believe that you're with us. It's an honor to me to have the middle name that I do, Christine, named after you. I know that you're with me playing field hockey, and I'm so hugely grateful for that. As I follow your footsteps, hoping to become a firefighter just like you, I can't wait to become closer to you than ever. We all miss you so much. We love you.
Andre G. Fletcher.
Carl M. Flickinger.
Matthew M. Flocker.
John Joseph Florio.
Joseph Walken Flounders.
Carol Ann Flyzik.
David Fodor.
Michael N. Fodor.
Stephen Mark Fogel.
Thomas J. Foley.
Jane C. Folger.
David J. Fontana.
Chi Min Fu.
Delrose E. Forbes Cheatham.
Godwin Ford.
Donald A. Foreman.
Christopher Hugh Forsyth.
Claudia Alicia Foster.
Noel John Foster.
Sandra N. Foster.
Anna Fosteris.
Robert Joseph Foti.
Jeffrey Fox.
Virginia Elizabeth Fox.
Pauline Francis.
Virgin Lucy Francis.
Gary J. Frank.
Morton H. Frank.
Peter Christopher Frank.
Colleen L. Frazier.
Richard K. Fraser.
Kevin J. Frawley.
Clyde Frazier Jr.
Lillian Inez Frederick.
Andrew Fredericks.
Tanitha Freeman.
Brett Owen Fryman.
Peter L. Freund.
Arlene Eva Freed.
Alan W. Friedlander.
My brother, Richard Avery Aranet, who worked for the Port Authority for 20 years and inspired me to become a lawyer. We miss you every day. We love you very much. And we will never forget. We will get you and the other people who were murdered on 9/11 justice.
And my brother, Ronald J. Rubin, continue to watch over us. We love you. We miss you. And God bless America.
Andrew Keith Friedman.
Paul J. Friedman.
Greg J. Froner.
Lisa Ann Frost.
Peter Christian Fry,
Clement A. Fumando,
Stephen Elliott Furman,
Paul James Framato,
Carlton Douglas B. Fife,
Frederick Neil Gabler,
Richard Peter Gabriel,
Richard S. Gabriel,
James Andrew Gadiel,
Pamela Lee Gaff,
Irvin Vincent Galliard,
Deanna Lynn Galante.